Hello, hello, hello! Welcome and well met! New outfit! I'm excited. It also fits well with today's stream. Okay, do I have... Okay. Let me look, because it has been a hot minute since I've streamed. Returning viewers definitely know this. Let me make sure I remember to actually make everything okay. Yeah, okay, we're good. Alright, I'm happy. I'm also excited today's stream because I cannot stress enough how much, like, I wanted to do this before I even debuted, so I'm very excited to be doing this drawing stream because I like historic clothing. I actually probably know more fashion from historic times than I do modern times. I know, I'm silly. But it's just like, I like how to put this thing succinctly. There's a lot of techniques and skill behind these garments, and there's also like nobility and higher, like, the ladies and stuff. Like, you'd be surprised how much political shenanigans can be stuck in one piece of clothing, but it can be a lot. I mean a lot, and I'm not just talking like, ooh, scandalous kind of stuff, but like, oh geez. Clothes really speak. They are billboards for people. So I hope you like mine, which is kind of my spring summer one. I have the fishy up. I'm going to be taking that down when I'm drawing though, because it's probably gonna be in the way. But let's get to drawing. It's my drawing. Yeah, that's definitely in the way. Okay. Bye, fish. Oh, here, let me whoop. That's how it does. Okay. Got my little drawing glove on. Yeah, that's smooth enough. Okay, I'm gonna click this, and I need to move. Okay. I think, yeah, chat's good. I'm worried. I'm worried about so many things. I'm like, I'm gonna mess something up. I know I haven't streamed in like over quite a bit. Let's move this a bit. Okay, that should be good. I can see well enough, and hopefully you guys can see well enough. All right, I'm on the illustration, not the actual drawing part. Whoops. Okay, get my layers here. Go in here, and make this opacity down so it's hard to see. Not quite unseeable. Let's get going, and as you can, actually, you know what? I should darken this. I have so many little notes. Yes, that is my handwriting. I know it's really bad, but I don't have much reason to actually write things down more than anyone else. I'm trying to work on my penmanship. Just don't have much reason to write. Hello, Grandma Iris! I am back, and you are back. We're all coming back. Hopefully today is fun. I am doing a concept. I'm doing donut store. Let's see. This one is about... It's actually more of a specific day just because of these big sleeves. Okay, let me... Actually, I can just switch over to this one. Because of these big sleeves here. Go like that. Those big sleeves. Known as mutton sleeves. They are very 1895. Like 1894, 1895. Like, it's a very specific year those sleeves were that big. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you liked the showcase. It's good to hear. It's good to hear. I know it was rather simple, but I was like, I don't have the time to, well, it's like, I don't have the time to think of something fancier to do. Oh gosh, it's too small of a line. I'm also on the wrong layer. Never mind, it's not too small of a line, it's just on the wrong layer, so it was... Good job, me. Good job, me. You gotta laugh at yourself sometimes. Okay, yeah. Yep. Yeah, I wanted to do a little more, but I was just... I had no thoughts. My head was just like, just this. And I'm like, alright, I'd rather have something than nothing. And I also didn't want to wait any longer because I'm like, I want to use my outfit. But yeah, this is going to be very 1895 kind of dress with a bunch of donuts on it. I should say, how to say it? Like, the overall silhouette's very 1895. It is not going to be a historic garment. I would be really impressed if somebody from that era was like, yeah, I'm gonna make a donut dress. Honestly, how old are donuts? Like, modern-looking donuts that we're gonna be familiar with. Because that's another thing. It's like, yeah, just because the item's been around for a while, doesn't mean it's going to be in the form that's recognizable to present day. I don't know if anyone's really thought about it. Frug! Yay! Hello! I was hoping you'd come over. I missed your ribbits. I missed your ribbits, Frug. I really did. I missed my cute little Frug. I missed everybody. Let's see how many people show up today. Maybe we can get a few new faces. I'm glad you popped on over. Yeah. Also, I was looking at the cake donuts, and I'm like, they kind of look like a flower, so I'm very glad I was looking up other types of donuts. Because I can use the cake donuts like a flower. Yeah, so this one is French Cruller donut for the top of the hat here. Just drew that. Because I wouldn't be me if I didn't try to impart some sort of knowledge. I still kind of want to do informational videos, but I don't think... I need to get better editing software, but obviously I don't have the funds for that. Not really. They're all the good ones are subscription-based, and I'm like, I don't have a steady income. Cries. Which is why I still like Clip Studio, even though it's kind of cruddy that they have a pay plan, and they said they want to do that, and they did it. I mean, if they apologized and were like, it's just what we have to do now, kind of thing, sorry we have to do this, I think people would be less miffed, but they didn't address it at all, and people got really miffed. But that was, gosh. Was that a year ago, or was that a few months ago? My sense of time is very bad. But yeah. Thankfully, it seems like a lot of the anger was just due to misunderstanding, but people still weren't really happy. But thankfully, I can still use... Yeah, I'm working on it. I'm working on it. But I do need to get going on that kind of stuff. I'm hoping to open up an art store. And I already got one little bit of fan art I want to see if I can draw, but as much as I would like to describe it, I don't want to describe it and then have a bunch of people going, where did this go? It sounds adorable. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I didn't have the skill to draw it. So I'm not gonna mention what it is. But I have some things in mind already. Oh, what was I doing with the hat here? Like, what am I looking at? Okay. Yeah. This is just lines. I'm not really talking about what I'm drawing. Mostly because I'm like, if you can't tell by me I'm on the wrong layer again. If you can't tell by watching, then I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. Put your glasses on. If you have them, if you need them, put them on. It's definitely, I'm just drawing lines of my sketch. But yeah. I don't have much to say about how I designed it either. I just kind of looked up the dresses. It was like, huh. And I looked up dresses. I even put in 1890s silhouette. I did it for all the dresses. I have the 1900s, like the decade, not the century. I always feel the need to clarify because I'm like, please don't think I'm talking about the 1900s as a century. I'm talking about the decade. The decade! Just 10 years, not 100. I always feel a little panicked about that because I'm like, please don't misunderstand. I'm gonna get one person though. One person who did not listen, I feel. There was enough, who was just like, this isn't in 100 years worth of fashion. And I'm like, please read the fine print. Please read again, but slower. It's gonna be one of those vibes. Let's see. Okay, I need to go like this. Oh, this is kind of hard. Because in my pictures of the donuts, the French Couleur? No, it'd be like Cloulé. If it's an actual French word, you don't pronounce the last letter of it. Should we get a patron so we can help? Yeah, that has $100 startup cost, so if I wanted to do that, I kind of like, I feel like I need more people following me, but I'm also kind of like, would more people follow if I had a patron? Patreon? Patron. Patreon. There's patrons on Patreon, but it's not the name of the site still. Oops. Can you put thumbnails of your inspirations? I just looked up the Google page, so I'm sorry, I don't have that saved either. If you type in, let's see, it'd be 1890, oh wait. Yeah, 1890s silhouette, that's what I was looking at. And then I just typed in types of donuts, types of ice cream, and types of cookies. So whatever Google pulls up is probably going to be more or less what I was looking at. It's nothing special, I assure you. I didn't deep dive into this. I was actually at a relative's house and I was just designing these. So I was just like on my phone, some of them. Actually, no, wait. For this one, I was actually at a relative's. The other two, was I at home? I know I was home for the cookie one. No, yeah, I was away for the ice cream one too, which we may or may not get. That end looks really weird. Well, it doesn't look weird per se, just I probably can do better. Let's try that again. Let's see. But yeah, I just looked up the Google page and then had... I was doing my sketch as well, looking at the actual page. I usually try not to keep references because it's like, it's not my art. So if I can just look up search results and use my search results on the side, then I'll just do that. Doesn't always work. Sometimes I need to grab a picture so I can color drop it easier, which you still can do, actually. How's my time away? Pretty fun, actually. I don't want to say explicitly what I did, but man, did I get worn out. Lots of walking was involved. Also, my throat's a little raspier. I really should have grabbed a cough drop just to be safe before this, but whoops. Yeah. I should definitely take more sips of water because my throat is a little raspy. I don't know if that's coming through in my voice though, but I feel it. I feel it. Okay, yeah, I kind of hear it. I'm a little raspy. Actually, I don't know if you guys can hear it either because I don't know if the mic picks it up. It doesn't always pick up everything. Now I'm sniffly. When I get warmer than cooler, that's why I usually get sniffles. Sudden sniffles, it's just change in temperature. Yep, that's what it is. I'm sniffly again. But yeah, I had a lot of fun. Not noticing anything voices. Oh, okay, so the mic doesn't really pick it up. It's too subtle for the mic to pick up. I did get a gift from a friend. I have a little Trigun Stampede Vash keychain. It's the cutest thing ever. I love it so much. I have it right next to me. I just kind of stare at it. I'm like, he's a good boy. And yeah, I'm definitely falling down in the Trigun rabbit hole. One of my friends, she has it, and I want to. We're gonna have a watch party. Also, I found out that Johnny Young Bosch's first voice acting role was for Vash in the original anime for the Trigun, and I was like, oh, I didn't know that. I've heard this man voice so many things at this point, but I didn't know that Freaky Vash the Stampede was his voice credit. You know, first voice acting role here. I like how this looks like, what are they called? Milano cookies? It's just those two little, like, shortbread cookies with the chocolate in the middle. It looks like a bunch of those lined up into a circle on the hat here. Okay. I didn't have the... Yeah, the brim didn't go past the donut. Flour. Yeah, I'm debating also whether to make the skin kind of look like frosted donut. I might do that. I'm also not sure, because it'd have to be like tan skin to be able to show it, and I don't want people to get mad at me. Okay, switch the angle here. This bit. But yeah, I... still falling down rabbit holes of things. You know, I don't think I ever said how I fell into this VTuber scene. It's actually a Niji Liver's fault. It's somebody from Niji EN. And I find it kind of dumb. I'm like, I don't even really watch them, to be honest. I don't even know why. It's not like I dislike them. It's just, I don't watch their... I didn't end up watching their stuff, but they're the reason why I'm in it. It's Luca Kaneshiro. Because I watched Amelie before she did Monarch stuff as a VTuber, which is her VTuber persona. But I liked her covers, and I'm sure a lot of anime fans like her covers. I am having trouble getting the curvature on this. Oh my goodness. Okay, there we go. And yeah, it had a clip with her talking to him. And I'm like, who is this dorky blonde dude? And then I looked it up, and then I fell down a hole. And that's how it became, that's how I figured it out. It's because someone I already watched became a VTuber, and they talked to a company VTuber, and I'm like, what is this VTuber thing? And I find it so dumb, and then I have watched some of his videos, but I don't watch them very often, and I'm like, but he's the reason why I got into this. It's rather dumb. But I think Luca's good. I just, again, I'm like, I like Luca. He's a good person. I don't know why I don't end up watching a lot of his stuff. I'm just dumb or something. Ah. I got booped. Yeah, that's just a bit of a longer explanation for that, but that's how I fell down into the YouTuber rabbit hole. You're being annoying. My roomie. Well, not roomie, my housemate. My housemate's being annoying. It's just not a me stream if I don't have somebody I live with come by and do something. I swear. Everyone's very enthusiastic in this house. That's okay. But yeah, that's how I became a that's how I fell down into this VTuber rabbit hole. I think it was Kizuna Ai. Kizuna Ai was, I think, the first VTuber I actually saw, but I didn't really know what it was because they didn't use the term VTuber back then when I first saw it. They were just, like, virtual talent or something. So, yeah, I didn't fall into the rabbit hole then, but she was the first one I heard of. I just had no idea it was a larger thing until so many years later. Kind of wild how life plays out like that, huh? Yeah. Oh, I guess, you know, I'll talk a bit now that I'm getting to more into the dress part, so you're seeing. But, how to tell it's 1800 is definitely... You have these... How to put it? Well, it's definitely corseted clothes. So I will tell you right now, if you ever wore a garment from the time period where women wore corsets and stuff, and you wondered why it does not look right when you put it on despite being all authentic and stuff, it's because the dress is intended for you to have corsets and other undergarments. Oh, hello, Margaret. Welcome. So, yeah, your problem with your historic dress is not that it's inaccurate, it's, you're missing the foundational garments underneath. And it will not look good without those. Well, it'll still probably look good, but it won't look as good. It'll look a little off. But it'll probably still look good. But yeah. I don't think people think about that. That's another thing about historic garments is like, you realize that what you wore underneath was also important. And we don't think about that nowadays because we're so used to having the garments we have. And you would never think about how, yeah, the stuff you wear underneath or over it is going to change the silhouette. It's going to change how the other garments fall on your, well, hang on you, like your form, your body and all that. So, it definitely is something to keep in mind when you're doing, when you want to get historically inspired clothing and you want that silhouette, you're going to have the clothes that are the foundations to the garment as well. And that may not be something you might it's probably not even something people think of. So, you know, it's like, you're not gonna know it's a problem. You're just gonna be confused why your accurately sewn historic dress is not fitting. It's like, you're not wearing a corset. You may have gotten the hoop skirt, which its proper name is crinoline, which is another thing to add. 1890s dresses definitely had, they didn't have crinolines. This was actually crinolines had fallen out of fashion by the 1890s for the most part. I mean, they did have them still for more like ball dresses, like big dance kind of dresses, big to-do things. But evening wear for like a meal, maybe a more casual dance. Still be ball and stuff, but it'd be more casual, maybe less once a year. You'd have bustles. Bustles were in fashion, and that's, you can kind of see the line here and here. Or I can just, you know, switch over like a smart person. Yeah, it has on the booty. That is a bustle. And you'd be like, how did they get that? Was it like hoop skirts and you just had this big cage off your rump? No, most dresses did not have cages off the rump. It was a thing. It was a thing. It did happen. It's not untrue. It just was not common. What was much, much more common was to have a pillow. It was essentially a pillow tied to your booty. So you quite literally had a booty pillow to make your posterior look bigger. Which is the funniest thing. And also, I'm like, I want to wear this kind of dress, but I have a tail. I don't know how I could wear a bustle dress and have my tail. Oh, okay. Before I forget, also the reason why I chose these 3 decades, and maybe you pieced it together, but these are also the 3 decades where Art Nouveau was popular. So this is the fashion that you would have seen on the people at the time who could afford to, you know, keep fashionable and all that. And okay, there we go. Okay, I need to focus for a second. So you would see these fashions on, well, this is women's fashion, or I guess, to keep modern terminology, this is feminine fashion for all y'all feminine folk, or when you're feeling feminine in a particular day. But anyway, so yeah, you'd have these big old mutton sleeves in the start of Art Nouveau. But to also be clear, Art Nouveau dresses, which you see the more long and drapey kind of looking ones, and they kind of look more like, I'd say, the kind of dresses people nowadays put goddesses in, to have that flowing goddess dress look. That's not what people wore if someone actually wore that on a day-to-day basis, oh gosh, that'd be a nightmare of a social faux pas. That would get you into some social trouble. Absolutely. So probably not a good idea. Though Art Nouveau dresses at the time for more of actually to be worn for people who it wasn't just this is just to be artistic. They call them artistic dresses, because another fun fact, the dress I'm wearing drawing now would have been called a costume, which you'd be like, but that wasn't a costume during the time. I mean, for us it kind of is. It's like a historic costume because it's not something worn. But the terminology of the word has changed a bit, because costume meant, you can Google it, I'm sure, but it originally meant just like something to be worn for, like, to give a specific event, like a specific occasion, that sort of thing. It was clothing that was more than just being practical. It also had some kind of, like, if you saw it, you knew exactly when to wear it, and it wasn't uniform. Because it's also, that's kind of excluded. This looks more like a beehive than donuts, but it will when I put frosting on it. I think I'll leave that to the coloring. Okay, but for now it should be beehive shape. Oh, that's on another layer. Got 2 layers. Pro tip, have multiple layers if you're at a difficult part for drawing the lines, because you can just merge them together later if you still want them in one layer. So all the pieces of an outfit together, yeah, it'd be considered costume. So, you know, this would be your evening costume. This would be your daytime costume. It was kind of a style and silhouette of clothing that it would tell what time of day, what time of situation you'd wear it in. And it just, over time, it evolved and just to turn into, this is not something to be practically worn at all. It's not even something you would wear on an occasion. But, you know, it evolved into what we consider costumes. But back in this time, it did refer to normal clothing, just clothing for a very, like, you could tell, oh, this is something this person would have worn to a dinner, an evening dinner. And there probably would have been some kind of social gathering, whether it be dance or just talking in a lounge, you know, whatever. What have you. But yeah, they would call it a costume. So they would look at this and be like, oh, this is a evening wear costume. You can tell because it has the mutton sleeves, which definitely were not this big for more of day-to-day stuff, because, you know, they get in the way. But if you're just socializing and dancing, not so much. Not so much. Because these women would be writing a lot. They would be reading more often. So they would be moving around and doing things. But they were basically, put simple and use some modern terminology, women of this time were networking like crazy. They were in charge of how good, of getting their family into better social standings, or, you know, setting that up. They were event planners. So they were networking, they were event planning, the wifeys, the wifeys were working, even though they were at home. So there's a fun little tidbit. Of course, for the more, well-to-do ladies. Well-to-do ladies. Language and clothing both evolve and change over time. Yep. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, and hats were in. I think... Do I have hats for all mine? Yeah, hat. I don't know if I'm getting into all these. I'm just going to try doing the line art today. because I want to see if I can get to the other ones. It's already been half an hour. I don't know how well I'm going to succeed in that. Let's see. What else? Okay, yeah, right. Why this looks 1890. Well, the overall silhouette's 1890, because you can tell it has a corseted waist. It's got the mutton sleeve. Wait, 1895. To be more particular, it's got the big mutton sleeves, which isn't this isn't even the most exaggerated mutton sleeve I've seen. And how they got the shape is, again, pillows. These women literally wore giant donut pillow things on their arms to get the shape of this, which is kind of why I'm like, nope, this lady needs to be my donut lady. She needs to have donut arms. It's historically relevant. Yeah. I was just like, mutton sleeves are donut arms. That one thought is what spawned all this. It's so dumb, but it's very me. I'm just sort of like going back and forth and fixing things. I want donuts now. Oh yeah, I wanted definitely sweets when I was doing these, I know. Ooh, yeah. I'm like, I both want donuts, but I also don't want donuts because all the ones around here usually have just a bunch of sugar glaze on it, and I'm like, I don't like that much sugar. I can't handle that much sugar. I do like donuts, but man, I most certainly need them in moderation. Okay, but yeah, you can tell it's corseted. Now, I don't know enough about corsets and the silhouettes they would make to tell you how exactly this top is 1890, but they definitely had different corset types, which would change the appearance of the upper top. Which, another thing I didn't know until relatively recently was that these outfits were so much more pieced out than you might think. Oh my gosh, did these women take advantage of buttons and hooks and eyes? Because, let's see, let's switch back to this. This part here, if it was drapey fabric instead of this exaggerated donut thing, would have been a separate piece. Like, it would not be strange for them to have this whole back fancy thing as like a separate little booty cape that has little hooks on them, so it slips into... Not the eyes, that's not what they're called. What are the little loops? I guess they're just called loops. So you have a hook into the loops along the dress. So this whole big thing would have been held out, and those, if you go look at other 1890 dresses, and I'm gesturing with my hand, I can't see that, will have that bit separate. There is this upper portion of the skirt. The reason why we say it's the skirt of the dress is probably because this isn't a dress as we would consider it in modern time, because this is a top. You'd have you'd have a corset. Let's see. The layer of clothing would be, you'd have a slip. Like that would be the garment that's against your skin is a slip. Then you'd put your corset on, you'd have your bloomers, you'd have your stockings. You put your corset over your slip. You'd probably have a corset cover to protect it from the outermost garments. And that's probably what you would be seeing on the top of the shirt. And this bit in the front is not like an actual full thing around the body. It's a panel. So you have this little jacket thing that has a panel that buttons or hooks into loops to stay on, or however it was fastened. So that's a lot just on top. Then you'd have the sleeves, which you would have put padding in to get it to be this voluminous. Voluminous? I'm not exactly sure what the best word it is. I can probably merge this down, make my life easier. So it was a lot of layers, and like that would just be your top. Before you put your tops on, after you put the corset on, you'd probably be putting on all your petticoats. So you'd fluff out your bustle, and then on top of petticoats you put a little pillow bustle pad, which people absolutely had it shaped so it would make it comfortable sitting. You basically have extra padding wherever you went. Bustle dresses were probably lasted longer than the crinolines or hoop skirts. I think in part, especially for practical, more everyday wear, because you literally just had extra padding attached around your waist. They just tie it around. And I think that's like kind of just the silliest thing. I'm like, yeah, I mean, it's practical to get the shape and everything, but just these fancy ladies having just a booty pillow makes me laugh every time. I'm like, I can't help it. It's so silly, but I absolutely adore it at the same time. I'm like, it's so practical. It's just lovely. Man, do I love history for all its practicality and zany, just the complete opposite of that, just thoroughly impractical and and then you just got your practical booty pillows to get that bustle look, and it's just so silly. It's just a nice, clean, elegant, and silly solution, and I adore it. So I'm rather fond of bustle dresses. Because deceptively more comfortable than you might think. And I'm absolutely going to put some frosting around here. You might be able to see a bit of the sketch underneath. Okay. That is... yeah, that's looking good. Okay. It's looking good so far. I'll definitely have more details once I put in the colors. Some of these things I'm like, it'd probably best if I didn't have lines. Just did it with just coloring it that way. Yeah. So this is very 1894, 95. I can't remember what the exact year. I think it was 95. I think it was exactly in the middle of the decade, but don't hold me to it. My mind's not clear enough to clearly remember the date. But it's because it has the bustle, it's got, you know, corseted look on top. I don't know the particular, but you can still at least tell it's corseted. And the mutton sleeves, of course the elaborate hat. Oh yeah, they would have, I saw examples of like fabric wrapped around the hat, and then feathers. Those were the most common by the look of it. They're just having these twisted bits of fabric around, and then you'd had feathers coming off. So, big hats. You got your hat pins. Definitely a thing during this time. But I'm no expert. Definitely, there's definitely people who know this fashion way better than me. But yeah, that was the thing to look for. Still has corsets, mutton sleeves, giant hats with decorations on them. The bustle skirt that drapes down kind of in this big bell-like shape. Definitely have a train. That is very in 1890s for sure. And the mutton sleeves is more of 1895, I believe it was. I think it was 95. I think 94 also had fairly big mutton sleeves, but I think they got absolutely ridiculous, and then they just pretty much went away. That's the thing, is that they hit the point of ridiculousness, and then everyone just sort of just went, no, this went too far. We're not doing this anymore. We're looking like fools. So yeah. There's some 1890 scraps of info. But yeah. Let's see if I can get to the other ones. Yeah, have the donuts here. All pillowy. The booty pillow donuts. Oop, oop, oop. Actually, do I want angled? Yeah, I want angled. Yeah, I'm just really just drawing over my sketch. That's what I'm doing. Okay, actually, I need that flatter, don't I? Or do I want? No, I think that actually works better. Never mind. Leave it as is. Follows the line of the skirt better. Oh yeah, I didn't completely finish. So yeah, for the... After you get all the foundational garments on and all... And I already mentioned kind of the layers that were on the top. It would be just, like, let's see. Your bloomers, your stockings, then the petticoats. You might have... You'd have... Ooh, whatever they called. I don't quite remember the name right now. But you'd have... a slip. I think they called it a slip. I think that's its name. And you put that over your petticoat, and you'd only really see the bottom of it. So the bottom of these would be decorated, and the rest would be kind of just practical. You know, functional. It functions. It connects the pretty bits at the end. And... yeah, that would be it. You'd have your outer skirt on top. So... these outfits were 3 pieces, really. You, at the very least, you have the... let's see. It's not a blouse. It's a... what is it called? What is the name? Can I remember? Well, you'd essentially have your shirt that's kind of like... the outmost wear, outerwear. Something like a blouse. I think there's another name for it, and I cannot think of it right now. Keep the clothing lines nice and smooth. Yeah. I mean, it is a donut. Lots of glazes. I do have the stabilizer up pretty high on the brush right now. I'm trying to keep the lines pretty smooth. Nice, clean look. I was tempted to model the style after the advertisements you could find in clothing catalogs, but I don't have much practice in that, and I was just like, no. Just no. As cool as that would be, I want to do the dresses, and that just keeps looking weird. I'm gonna change the shape. That works. That looks sufficiently gloopy, I guess. And yeah, got the glaze coming down because I figured glaze. So I have actually quite a few types of donuts. I have the ones we're most used to up here. I'm going to have her panel here as donut look. You know, actually, I should probably do that with color. That's going to work out better if it's color. Got regular donut here. Cake donut flowers on the hat and on the sides here. This is actually a braided donut for the hair. Because, you know, braids, hair, duh. And then I put little donut holes along the bottom here. Because I didn't want, like, the whole design to be out of donuts. Like, not everything had to be a donut. Having the basic silhouette was more important at times. Like, if I couldn't make it out of a donut, it was fine. So, yeah. And I just like really clean lines, so this is just in my style. Excuse for me to just blather on about clothing of a different era. Unapologetically, I'm a learn you a thing. But yeah. There's definitely better places to learn, but let's see, there's like, actually, Bernadette Banner, she's the most well-known, but if you look up like go watch like 3 of her videos, you will pretty much get recommended everyone else. Or at least you'll get recommended other people along with her own videos, and then you'll just start finding everybody. At least that's how it worked when I looked up, which I'm like almost reluctant to look up her videos sometimes, because I'll just get inundated with videos just of historic clothing, and I'm like, I do like it. I also like watching other things, and maybe right now I don't feel like watching videos about historic clothing. That's a problem. Some things I like, but I won't watch videos of because YouTube just goes, here, have literally all your recommendations be this one topic, and I'm just, oh my gosh, I don't need this much. It's like, you ask for one burger and somebody gives you a whole table of burgers, and it's like, okay, I really, really did not need this much. That's what it feels like. Weird analogy, I know, but that's what it felt like. I was like, this is too much. This is too much, and I'm scared to look it up. Though also, since I've been talking about food in history, and you know, obviously it's historic clothing, there is actually a channel that goes over food history. And it's Tasting History with Matt, and I don't remember his last name right now. But yeah, Tasting History. I recommend that. It's pretty good. I'm gonna do some advertisement for him. Coming out with a cookbook of these centuries-old recipes that actually, you know, still taste good even to a modern palate. He definitely has tested them. He didn't just go, and here's the recipe. He's like, no, these actually still taste good even to modern palates. Don't worry. I just actually watched a video of him talking about onion soup. I don't know if he's ever done donuts, though. I should have looked that up, because then I'd be like, we're coming around full circle. I'm talking about historic clothing, and we got a video about how donuts came to me. But I didn't do that, so unfortunately I cannot recommend for sure, because I don't even know if he has a video of that. We're getting close here. Oh yeah, I got a maple donut bag. So we got donut holes, maple donut, maple bar donut, your classic round donut, cake donuts, braided donuts, and the French C donut, because I am tired of trying to pronounce that word and I've never heard it out loud. I'm like, I only have it written and it's called French, and I'm pretty sure it was actually made in France, so I don't think you pronounce the last thing. I'm like, look, I don't know French pronunciation very well. But yeah, it's this word. If anyone wants to look it up, I think I wrote it down well enough, but yeah. You can pause it there and type it in and look it up later if you're that curious. But yeah, I tried to add a lot of different types of donuts. I didn't just want to do the one standard donut and call it a day. I figured I'd hide a bunch of different types of donuts. If it was going to be a donut dress, then by gum, I was going to show there's a lot of different looking donuts. Because that was my goal. I was gonna do cake, but the cake kind of all looks the same. Tasting History is yeah. I'm tempted to get his book, because I also like, let's see, How to Cook That with Ann Reedon. I also like her. She does a lot of baking. Maybe something to watch, because she actually has recipes on how to make. I'm pretty sure she would have a donut recipe. So yeah, I like her too. She gives a lot of information. She keeps people informed. She actually doesn't even do just cooking things. She also does debunking things that have literally had people go like, I didn't know how dangerous this was, and you've probably literally saved my life because you told me how dangerous it was. I probably would have died. And I'm like, oh, okay. I'm very grateful for this one Australian lady who explains how cooking works in baking. Well, baking more specifically. Teaches how bacon works. Bacon. not the food. Not the food. Whoops. But she also does care about people, so when she comes across something she knows is dangerous and she knows how to explain it, she does make a video on it, and it's great. She has definitely earned my trust. I like watching her. So yeah, she does viral food debunking videos, and cake repairs are probably what she's most known for. So you might have heard of her already. But I like her. Definitely supporting her. Which is why I'm mentioning it, because I'm not afraid. I'm not part of a corporation. I can freely mention whoever I want and say, go support them. At least right now, they're good. I haven't heard anything bad about them. Let it be known if I say I like somebody and it turns out they're kind of cruddy. I didn't know. I think I've mentioned this before, but I'll mention it again. I don't like people who could be better, but mildly. Okay, now let's see. It's going to be... How do bags work? Hold on. Be like that. Okay. This would be like, the thumb comes out here. This would be curled up fingers. Then I have actually dealt with historic purses recently enough. They have this little... I don't know the terminology, but they have a strap off of it. And they always have at top like these two little strips of like wood or ivory or some kind of plastic. And, you know, like Bakelite, old types of plastic, not newer ones. That's another thing people may not think of. There's what? What was I talking about? I don't know what that is. But no, there's How to Cook That with a lady called Ann Reedon. The channel itself is just called How to Cook That. And I know her name is Ann Reedon. She has a cookbook. A friend of mine actually bought the cookbook. I would have gotten it, but I don't do a lot of baking, so there wasn't much point in me getting it. But she somehow didn't know she had a cookbook, so I did tell my friend, hey, she has a cookbook. And my friend was like, what? I'm like, yeah, she has a cookbook. Go get it. So she has it. She showed it to me because she was like, you told me about it, so I was actually able to get one. So yeah. Doing my part, supporting other content creators. Little by little. Us little folk gotta stick together. Oh my gosh. Okay, you know what? New plan. But yeah, it's How to Cook That. It's not too big of a channel. I don't know if it's her content's more well known on other platforms for certain things or not. Really don't know. But yeah, if you type in How to Cook That with Ann Reedon, it may not show up because her name is not in the title. Unlike Max Miller here. He put his name in his YouTube video, or YouTube channel name. I almost said like video name or something. I'm like, it's not just one video. It's all of them. It's across the channel. You know, I don't really need to close the lines. I'm gonna hand color them in. Which I don't know if I would save. Maybe I should. Okay. This doesn't have to be perfect. Yeah. Ann Reedon does How to Cook That. Sorry for the confusion. Sorry, Grandma Iris. But yeah, she's the one who runs How to Cook That. She always opens up with like, welcome everybody, I'm Ann Reedon, and this is How to Cook That. So if you find someone who says that, you're in the right place. That is her. And she's cool. And I know she lives in... yeah, Australia. I was worried I was going to say Austria. I'm like, that is similar enough sounding name. Completely different place. I like food. Yeah, I like food too. Okay. I think I might have to fix that hand a bit more, but that's going to be a lot of back and forth. I'll fix it later. Maybe off stream. Okay, I think we're gonna only get to the second design, and then, yeah, I'll just fix it now, actually. Okay, actually know what to do quickly. I'm looking at it far away, and it's more of like that. That'll work. That'll be fine. Again, doesn't have to be perfect. I haven't named this. Okay. You can't see me do this, sorry. Let me name the file. Let's see. The 1895 donut dress. Oh, I said dresses. I've been typing dresses all day, but it's just dress. This time it's singular, not plural. Okay. Okay, be gone. Say goodbye. We'll see it again. Okay, I can also say yes. No. I shouldn't need to save it. Okay. New. Going on to the ice cream dress. I will put rainbow sprinkles on it, don't you worry. That's going to be in the coloring phase, though. Right now I'm just doing line art. Okay. Copy this. Stick it on this. I didn't do this. Oop. Wrong layer. I didn't do this earlier because I didn't know if I'd even get to another dress. I'm not the fastest. And I'm just doing the line art today because I'm like, I know I'm not fast. I am not fast. I am slow. So yeah. Got an ice cream scoop cone that's off of like the typical ice cream sundae kind of scoop. The frosting, not frosting, whipped cream along the bottom and the cherry on top. I even have a little cone. So this is a sundae ice cream cone. Just lots of I looked up ice cream and somebody they were like a little tiny scoops of ice cream all stuck together. And they're just this bumpy, lumpy, just stack of ice cream. I'm like, that looks weird, but very much ice cream. And then soft serve ice cream along here. This is, like I wrote down here, is like 1900 to 1905. It gets a little more column-like in the later actual decade for 1900. So, yeah, and they have this little cute cape thing I saw of. It's not like a cape. It's like along the opening. I have no idea what it's called. I haven't been able to talk to the historic clothes restorer. I definitely need to ask her. I'm like, what is this? Tell, please? Maybe? Oh, it's so dark. I might have to lighten it again. Let's make this less transparent. Okay, that's more opaque. I can actually see where I'm drawing. But yeah. This has a little more toppings, and I think I'm gonna flip it around just because I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have an easier time if I do that. So this has ice cream scoops. It has the design. I didn't just do ice cream because like ice cream cones are so iconic that if you look at a waffle cone, you're going to think that holds ice cream. You're not gonna really think it holds something else. So this is a little more lenient. Even though I guess for the donut dress, I did use frosting and donuts don't always have frosting. Okay, I think I actually want to move this line back a bit more. Oop. Okay. And I need a drink. I need a drink. Yeah. But yeah, as you can see by the 1900s, the skirts are... I think this is getting to hobble skirt era. That was another thing. So there's not as long as a train. You have a much... not as wide. It's much thinner kind of dress. I mean, you still have a bit of a bustle, just like a little bit of padding, but it's mostly gone, so there's not too much of a bustle left. Yep, hydrate or dehydrate. And you got more of this little like cape thing. Like corsets are on their way out because a certain other garment's going to be invented soon, and I'm reluctant to say. Some people are very immature. How did I draw this? I'm like, what was I drawing? I drew this a while ago, so I'm having trouble remembering. Yeah, 'cause I think I should have left myself more notes. I think those are gonna be. Oh, I remember now. It's little bumps off of the back. They're not like waffle bits. They're actual like ice creams. Like on the stick, the ice cream on a stick. That's what I drew here. I'm like, what am I looking at? I can't remember. Now I do. For yeah, the hat, because they still had really big hats in the early 1900s. So, big hat. And I'm going to put little scoops of ice cream. Actually, maybe more like around. So it sort of mimics what I saw, even though it was more of like Christmas tree shaped thing on a waffle cone. But I don't want to do that. Oh yeah, I also had ice cream mochi, the little bit tiny ones here. That's ice cream mochi. Because that's been getting popular, and I decided I'd put it in. Because I never said, because it also fits because there was more Japanese influence. And even for Art Nouveau, there's actually Japanese influence in that art style. Like, let's see, I think it's primarily with composition and subject matter. Had the Japanese Japanesemo? I don't remember how to pronounce the word exactly because I think it's pronounced a little. There's the French pronunciation, there's the Italian pronunciation. And I'm like, which one was the English one? Finished donut just for today? No, I just said I was doing the line art today. Don't worry, I'll get around to doing the other ones. It's just this is a lineup of. It's a trio of dresses, so I wanted to get to at least another of the dresses. Though I think. Whatever line art I don't get done today, I will do off stream? Maybe? Actually, no, because then I won't. Well, I don't really actually know this era of clothing, this 1910s, early 1910s, by the way. Kind of like, maybe not early? Maybe it's like during World War I. I don't know. History classes are failing me because I also don't remember where World War I actually ended. I just remember where it began because it's the same year Art Nouveau stopped really being a powerhouse, and that is 1914. That's so bit of war era clothing then. But yeah, that was definitely not fun. Not a fun time. Absolutely not. But ice cream sundae dress needs syrup and whipped cream. Oh yeah, I could have put chocolate syrup on the umbrella part, because that's the sundae part. Her hat's just kind of like a conglomerate of a bunch of ice creams. I'm gonna color them all different colors and stuff. I couldn't resist, but I did want to put a cherry on. Gotta put a cherry on top. I mean, come on. But yeah, I'm not finishing anything today because I just wanted to get to the line art so I could talk a bit about the clothing, but I don't have anything to say about the cookie one, really. I'm like, yeah, it's more simple, it's more column. The 1912 is when the Titanic sunk, and the dresses were getting more column-like, but because of that, the term Titanic dress got real popular, and it meant this very column silhouette dress. So if you see long, straight, it's just like the silhouette's very straight. It doesn't show off the curves. That's probably around the early 1910s, and that's really thin, but I honestly cannot be bothered right now. That's just gonna be a cherry. That's a cherry stem. That functions. I'm like, I can't really be bothered right now. But yeah, 1900 dresses. They all had this kind of like, let's see, you have like the shoulder here, and then the V goes all the way down. And like, I saw so many dresses with that. So the neckline just, you had your shirt here, and the neckline just went down to your waist. But then you have this like, I can only describe it as a cape because I don't know what it is. And they have this like little cape thing here. And I'm like, that was all over the clothing. And I don't know what it is. But it was definitely a staple of the clothing from this time. And I just did, that's not the lines that are gonna work. I'm just trying to describe what I'm like, this is what it looked like. Yeah, and still had the big decorated hats. I think it's wartime hits and you don't have big decorated hats anymore. Yo, oh yeah. Oh yeah, the 1910s have a lot of tough one, but yeah. We're not to the World War I decade yet. The Great War, as they call it, because I didn't think there was going to be another one. And some of them was, they were young men and women, and then World War II happened. I mean, just, that has gotta have been so hard. You have all this rhetoric of how this is the war to end all wars. It was horrific because it was the first really modern war. And then it's just, and another one happens. And it's just about as horrific as the first for entirely different reasons. Yeah. Got definitely the World Wars very much simplified the clothing. This 1900s was really the last era we got this elaborate clothing. At least in Western. I can't speak about the whole world, but definitely of the Western world. Yeah. It definitely simplified a lot of things. Sometimes for the better, sometimes for the worst, in certain opinions, but world ever marches on. Whether you're there to go with or not. That's how worlds work. Ice cream with strawberry, blueberries, raspberries, whipped cream, and syrup. Grandma Iris likes her berry ice cream, I see. Put berries on top, and you have berry flavored ice cream too. Get you some strawberry ice cream. Oh, I guess since I'm a strawberry, I didn't say what like my kind of favorite donut was. I just said that I don't like it when they have so much glaze on them. I'm like, I asked for a donut. I did not ask for sugar glaze with some donut. I'm sorry, but this is what you signed up for. It's what's on the tin. Making Grandma Iris very hungry. Complained about the donuts too. But yeah, I think my favorite kind of donut is actually cake donut. I really like cake donuts, but I can very rarely have them because they usually put so much frosting gets in the little nooks of it. And I'm like, I can't eat it. But they taste really good. When I find plain old cake donuts, I'm like, yeah! I get so happy because I can actually eat it without feeling queasy afterward. Because it's not covered in sugar. Like, I can't eat that much sugar. Makes me queasy. I do enjoy me a good cake donut. As far as ice cream goes, I actually enjoy vanilla pretty well. A good, proper, like, vanilla bean ice cream tastes great. I like chocolate chip mint. I really like caramel ice cream. That's a good one. Especially when you have little truffles in it. Which are usually turtle-shaped. Like chocolate truffles, not fungi truffles. Those are different things. They're both still tasty. If you like fungi, that is. If you don't like mushrooms at all, then you're good. No, even if truffles are like the king of mushrooms, you're not gonna like them. Which is like, no, fair. You don't like something, you don't like something. I'll make this wavy. It's the inside of the umbrella. Okay. I think I'll do the handle once I've drawn more other things. Yeah. You can definitely tell this is after the bustle dresses. It still has that kind of silhouette, but it's definitely thinner. Like, the bustles are smaller, it's barely there. You probably could just do fabric. You're probably not having any real pillowy bustles for the 1900s. Decade, not century. Just to clarify again. You got these long drop neck things and drop necks down to the waist. Because I saw all the dresses like that. It's like before you'd have a panel and then you could see a bit of like the corset cover underneath for the 1890s. But this one is just, you have the panel and the like corset cover is like one and the same. And I need to remember to put syrup on top of this. Let's go the other way. Yeah, sundae with chocolate syrup on top. Or like fudge. Or whatever. Like how... Okay, it's on the game. Cherry. Yeah, I gotta put the cherry on top. I mean, you got that distinct... Yeah, there's still strawberries. There's strawberries along the waistline of this dress. Because I was thinking... I found a picture of, like, soft-serve Japanese ice cream. Which is another reason why I chose ice cream for this one. Is because the sundae... yeah, sundae glasses. The long, tall ones. Not like the bowl sundae types. Had like the same shape as kind of the dresses. This is a bit more exaggerated, I think. But yeah, it was pretty close, so I'm like, I'm gonna use it. So it's gonna be an upside down sundae. And then I know a lot of the Japanese ice creams are done in this kind of sundae style as well. Yeah. Make this look like soft serve. Soft serve hair. Are you having fun with emotes there, Grandma Iris? Just been all emotes. You silly beat. Yeah, you're being silly, aren't you? Okay, so that's gonna look more like soft serve, probably in the shading. And then, oh, I forgot what this was. I saw this more like lumpy kind of ice cream, but I don't remember. I don't remember what it was, but then I have a little, oop, a little whip at the end. I don't need to make the little nuts. I should put little bumps into the sides of this because the nuts are gonna poke out in some spots, aren't they? We have nut chocolate covered ice cream on a popsicle stick kind of thing bar. So I'm like, oh yeah, they have those now. So this. And then when I color it in, eventually, which I'll probably save for that. I don't know if I'll get around to actually finishing the cookie one. Should be able to finish this one. This one's actually going much smoother. I'm all warmed up now, I guess. Maybe just easier to draw. For me. Yeah. Oh yeah, and as you can see, there's absolutely no mutton sleeves. The sleeves are actually very tight on top, and then they kind of just poofed out a little bit at the bottom here. Like, not hit the wrong thing. That would be ideal, you know? Then Yeah, they had little fluffy sleeves. These, I think, bishop. I've heard they're bishop sleeves or called lantern sleeves. That was it. Lantern sleeves. I've also heard these called lantern sleeves. But I know them as bishop sleeves. And I think that's funny because I don't even think of like the actual occupation of bishop. I think of the chess piece. My mind works in odd ways. As I've mentioned before, I'm like, bishop, and I'm like, the chess piece? I'm like, I know it's an occupation, but I'm just like, chess piece. I want to play a game of chess. Actually, there's probably online chess. I could actually have a stream of chess, but I am not good enough at chess, and I don't think people are gonna find that too much interesting. I'm gonna draw this before I draw on the hand. Or maybe it's like kind of more of her turning. That's right. I do want this because it's more of front on. She is turning. She is twisting. Let's see if I can get that idea across. Actually, it's like, this is my idea. Now let's see if I have the skill to actually draw it. Yeah. Totally recommend you sketch out better by hand. You definitely want to do that. Hands are always harder. Are usually a sticking point for people. And my suggestion for that, if you have trouble drawing hands, you probably have, if you're able to draw, you probably have at least one hand. I don't want to exclude people who may not, but like, look at your own hand. I'm like, I can tell you the one thing I have done that has made it so much easier to draw a hand is just look at my own hand. I'm like, I want to draw this hand holding something. I'm like, okay, I need to go find something that is at least the same kind of width. And I'll just want to draw a person holding a sword handle. Sometimes I just grab my pencil case and I hold that. So, actually, I'll need to draw more precise. Actually, yeah, now's the time. Let's make a new layer in case I have to delete. This is up point and then down here. Okay, yeah, that follows up to what I was drawing pretty well. But I need to make it thinner. How much is that going to be? Oh, that's exactly what it's going to be. Okay. Undo that. That's not where I want it. That's not the place I want it to be. All the way down. Actually, no, I'm going to need to make that even thinner. Let's see, 1.5. Angle makes it look thicker. Well, that the lines are diagonal is thicker, and all my other lines are so thin. I'm like, okay, need to get the thickness right so it actually looks like it's part of the same drawing. Okay. A little back and forth here. Get about parallel. Yeah, that's okay. That'll work. It doesn't have to be wholly realistic. I am clear. If anyone comes to the stream and is like, you're not drawing realistically, I'm like, what a part of dessert themed dresses this extravagant looks any sort of real, like, promotes any sort of realism. I mean, like, you're in the wrong place, my friend. You are in the wrong place. Okay, this is going to be, that's in front. Okay, and then I want to erase this part, because that's going to be behind the face. She's kind of tucking her chin over it. It's going to go over the dress collar. Fix that up. And then Of course, the hand is gonna go over. And then this is gonna go there. Okay. It's a little wider on the bottom, which works because perspective. Okay. Okay. And I'm doing a little scalloping here. Mostly because I thought that worked better with the ice cream, which is very curved. Because ice cream scoops. I could have put bar ice cream. I just realized. That's very popular, and I didn't do any of it. I did think about doing cookie ice cream, but I was like, I was either gonna do a cookie or a cake dress. I did try doing a cake dress first, but there wasn't enough different looking cakes. Like, it was just basically, oh, and this one is shaped like this, and this one's shaped. It was more of like cake decorations, or like, this looks different because it's a different flavor, and that's not what I wanted. I wanted something like, you know it's different just even if you saw a silhouette of it, you'd know it's like a different... Oh, I have to make this thicker again. That's why the line keeps being too thin. Ah, silly me, forgetting to do things. Okay. That. This is coming together. Slowly and surely coming together. Okay. The pinky is wrapped around. Flat. Yeah, that looks more like it's wrapped around. Okay, that's good enough. Yeah, it's good enough. I'm sorry. Is it really that much? Save this. I keep flipping the drawing because it's easier to draw from the angle. Like, it's easier to draw with flip because of the, like, the curve of my hand. Or, sometimes it's just, I'm checking for mistakes, and flipping it over sets your brain up for, how to put it? It sets your brain up to be like, okay, just, yeah, I keep flipping it just because it's mostly this stream. I've been doing it because it just makes it easier to draw the curves. So, like, if a curve's this way, it's easier to draw. Like, curves are this way are easy for me to draw, so sometimes I'm just flipping it to make it easier to draw for me. But people also will flip the canvas for looking for mistakes, because having it be reversed like that literally gives you a new perspective, and your brain will realize all what's wrong. And you can do this with actual paper. Usually you want some kind of strong light behind it. You just flip the paper over and put it in front of the light. Best way to do that is, like, if you don't have the ability to either make your own light box or purchase your own light box, is if you live in a sunny enough area, is when the sun is up, stick it to a window. Easiest light box there usually is, because most of us live in some place that has windows. You just stick it up to the window. The sleeve look a little more like it's hanging down rather than poofing out. Okay, yeah. Like, let's make it so, like, gravity's working. I know. Oh, I just shrunk the thing. I wanted to move my view box here, and I moved the whole drawing, or squished the program down. The window. It's called a window. I swear I know my terminology. I swear I do. Why am I having trouble with this? Let's try this angle. Yeah, I keep flipping it around. Yeah. I flipped it and I'm getting self-conscious. But yeah, that's why I'm doing it. I'm just trying to get a better angle so I can draw something. Knuckles. It's usually easier to draw the knuckles for the hand. And this is just going to be pretty much like bumps. Angle. And I have fingers just kind of curved. Had before. Probably not going to work. Ooh, okay. Okay. Wait, is this... Yeah, the stick is still on a different layer. Okay. Everything else is not. Gotta be careful. Okay. Do. Yeah, I usually, if I'm drawing like more curled up fingers, drawing the knuckles first helps. Well, it helps me at least. I don't know if it'll help you, but it's something worth trying. And if it works for you, cool. If it doesn't, boo. I hope you find something that does help. So, but yeah. Okay. I think the hand's good enough. Just clean this up. Okay. Alright. Got about another half hour to go. I'll probably be able to finish this. I don't know if I'll get to the cookie one at all. See, I did show it at least. I'm not shy about that. Make a phone. Ooh. Okay. The lines keep looking almost exactly the same. I'm sure it looks pretty much the same to most people, but I'm like, oh, it's slightly off. I'm drawing at angles, so it actually does matter if I'm slightly off or not. I'm like, I need to be aware. It's like, sure, if it's like a short distance, the angle doesn't matter as much. But if it gets longer, oh, hello, Alice! You caught me at the end! We already did the line art for, the 1890s inspired donut dress, which I started this whole thing because it has mutton sleeves. Ah, thank you! I suppose it's kind of like a crown. I would call it more. I always thought of it as like a headband. I've had a few people now go like, oh, it's a nice little crown, little tiara. And I'm like, I didn't even cross my mind. I'm just like, I have a little headband. But yes, new outfit. I have the background also changed too, not that you can tell. Really, you can just see the bit of the water. This is the smallest bit of the water. Oop. Make that smaller. There we go. And I will put the waffle texture in when I color, because it's just going to be easier if I do it with color rather than line art. And I don't know about that connection, but that's the best I'm going to be able to do. Okay. Okay, this is already facing. Oop, I zoomed in. I wanted to zoom out. But yeah. That's looking really good. I'm gonna give it a save. Definitely need to save your progress. So yeah, now we're at the bottom of the skirt. I don't know why the cherry stems are making me laugh, but they are. Onto strawberries though. Because I saw some strawberry soft serve and the amount of... Like, people love putting strawberry wedges into things. Headband, crown. Potato? Potato? Oh, potato, that's what you're saying? Okay. Like, is that some kind of word? I don't know. Yeah. Seen it shortly enough. Yeah. New look. Which, honestly, I was thinking about it. I'm like, this new outfit of mine kind of fits Breath of the Wild more because it kind of has like the drapiness of Zelda's outfit in her ceremonial white outfit, which kind of a little presumptuous, I guess. I'm like, mine looks like a royal princess clothing. There you go. I figured it looks more Breath of the Wildy than at least my other outfit. Yes, make sure you save. You don't. Yeah, I don't want to lose all my progress. That'd be terrible. I'm getting there. Actually, I could leave this on. I'm done. It's going to be cherries. Strawberries! These are strawberries. I've already drawn the cherries in the design. The rest are strawberries. Just gotta laugh at myself. Okay, can you zoom in? I'm having trouble connecting the lines. There we go. I'll zoom in. I'll just erase this a little bit, so the fill tool will be happy with me later. We just have strawberries around the waist. We still got the corseted kind of waist, still in the early 1900s. I think the corset goes more out. Yeah, I think the First World War also is the reason why, because corsets were used whale bones, which I think got outlawed. And I think at this point, the not as old corsets have metal, like flat little metal sticks in them. And well, metal became more precious during wartime. So yeah, corsets had to go. The war efforts and all that. I don't... I'm not getting into that. Not really qualified for it to begin with. There's a lot of history in there. A lot of it's sad, a lot of it's depressing. But people still manage to live on, despite everything. Despite everything, there's still good people in the world, and we're still living. So, I guess, yay for the human spirit. I think that would apply right now. Okay, I'm gonna switch angle. Yeah, that's much easier. Okay, and this, put a line here. Save the other lines, because it's like two, how would you phrase that? 2 stacks of like soft served lines of ice cream. I don't know how otherwise to phrase it. Yeah. That's what this bit is. It's not whipped cream exactly, but they've got these ridges from how the... It would be called a nozzle, I think. Right? Yeah, from the nozzle. I just realized this line should come from here, not there. Yeah. Yeah, trying to figure out how to draw soft serve ice cream to have that wavy kind of pattern. I was just staring at it and I'm like, how am I going to do this? I'm still not 100% sure how I'm going to do it. Like, how am I gonna do the shading? I think it's mostly like shading. Shading's gonna be a big part. Getting that detail right. Now we're on to the more like Japanese ice cream glasses. And it's a lot more of reliant on coloration. Because I'm going to do these stripes and have just a bunch of different ice cream textures and stuff. All the different flavors. Just layer ice cream sundae layer thing. Go around the other side. Yeah. There's a lot of ways. I'm like, there's a lot of things of ice creams. Like, you have a cone, you have a bowl, have glasses. I'm like, I didn't think about that we have a few ways of just like different objects that ice cream gets served in. I didn't really think about it until I was doing this dress. I'm like, yeah, we have glasses, we have these waffle cones, we have bowls. We serve ice cream in quite a few things. It's not like, oh, cookies and cake. They get served on a plate. Nope, for this, it's just like bowl, cone, we serve it in another sweet. Makes me laugh, kind of. Okay. I think yeah, I got both arms. I can do the face later, too. Or maybe I'll just keep it like a mannequin. That'll creep people out, won't it? Ooh! I'm gonna stretch it. Okay, that one is ready. Ready to be drawn in. Okay, I'll give it a save. And I will be able to start this, but first, I'm gonna exit out that. New. Can't see my menus. Let's quickly go through them. Let's paste this in here. Gotta size it. Yeah, and things are much flatter. You can actually see the shoes. Another thing I didn't mention is the skirts would hit the ground, and now we actually have, by what this was, the 1910s, 1910s. We get just more, the hemline has gone up a little bit. Yeah. Oh yeah, and I'm sure like, oh yeah, and then it goes up real high for those flapper dresses in the 1920s. No. Most of those flapper dresses you see are actually way shorter than they would have been actually worn. Flapper dresses went to about, ooh, wait, wrong layer. Let me go. Flapper dresses went up to here. So all those flapper dresses you see that are like up here, not historically accurate. That is not historically accurate. Not for the time period. I think it had a bit of a revival or something, like after a bit. So it did save it already, so I have a file. This is gonna be 1910s cookie dress. And I might add more details in this one than the other ones, because I was having trouble finding images of the cookies I wanted to see. Apparently, I should have put biscuit cookie, because then that got me a bunch of English cookies, and that was their look more different. Like, they have these little, like, pretzel shortbread cookies, and I was looking for, like, a tin of those, and I finally got images looking up that much later. But yeah. Oh yeah, the hats were so flat for this one that immediately I'm like, I'm turning it into a frosted sugar cookie. So she has a big frosted sugar cookie hat. I had to put frosted sugar cookies in here because I'm like, oh yeah, no. I keep getting wobbly lines. Okay. Change the angle. Okay, actually, you know what I should do is just all the way across. Loop. There we go. And then I don't have to do too much on the other side. Want to fix that corner though, actually. Get here. Yeah, the hats are much flatter now. There's still decoration on them. I'm certainly putting decoration on it because I'm like... I'm doing theme things and I need to put the item everywhere. I'm gonna make everyone hungry with my food-related themes. Okay. Touch-ups. That will do for now. Well, that will do. Need to be perfect. And I decided I put like little pearl sprinkles on this sugar cookie, because pearls were also pretty in at this point. Let's get drawing little pearl sprinkles. Have little regular sprinkles. because these things always had sprinkles. At least I've always seen them with sprinkles, so I wasn't about to not have them sprinkles. Yeah, these are definitely have a few funny names. I don't think YouTube would be none too happy if I said them. So I'm not going to, but there is a particular I blanked on how to actually say it. I keep wanting to say monkey because it makes me think of the word monkey, but it's not. Like a moniker? Manicure? Yeah, it's something like that. Anyway, waffle cookies. Have the waffle cookies on off of the hat. Oh, I should probably. Would it be easier to do the? Savoria's talking, and she's just like, I really want to say baklava, and I'm like, I was tempted to do a baklava dress, but then I was just like, eh. It was very very monotoned in the color palette. Palette was the word I was trying to think of, and I'm drawing and trying to speak at the same time, and some wires are getting crossed. Okay, I'm just right brush. And yeah. Over so it's easier to draw. This is not going to be paint bucket tool friendly, I swear. Oh, but I have settings for that now. It's not one and done. But yeah. It is. You know, I'm surprised I'm not more weirded out with not streaming didn't weird me out. And also streaming again is not weirding me out after my break. It's just sort of like, yeah, this is a thing. Macaron. Macaroons are actually considered cookies. She has macaroons on as a pattern on her skirt. So this is a dress for that. They are a very fancy type of cookie. That's what they're considered. They're considered macarons or considered a cookie. I was like, huh? Who'da thunk? I mean, Did I do a spritz kind of? Nah. I'm just gonna have the short hair here. Made her look like she has a long neck. The silhouettes were very like, make the neck look long. I might have exaggerated a bit too much. Might have exaggerated a bit too much. Yeah, I was having more trouble with this last design. But yeah. I mean, it's clothing I'm not used to seeing. I don't see as much of it. And I was having trouble with the overall theme, because I was gonna try cake, but that didn't work, because though the cakes look different, and like you could shape cake, but I wanted to be like, no, this is like a bundt cake. If I say that, it's a particular shape. A particular shape will come into mind. The same like with jam cookies. You're probably going to think of a round cookie with an indent in the middle, so jam can be put into it. Typically some red jam, like raspberry or strawberry. And I was just... that was the difficulty. Finding like a particular shape, like if you looked at this, yeah, like you saw an image of this and you would immediately know what it was. I can't help you, Grandma Iris. I'm not nearby you. I'm sorry. I appreciate you hanging in there and sticking around this long. But yeah, I also liked this dessert idea mostly because the shapes would be fun. What am I? Okay, this is the shawl line. I'm going to bump it up a bit because I think pretty sure I exaggerated it too much. Oh yeah. I was about to say, this looks a lot like the kind of style of clothing Miss Gina had in Porco Rosso. I'm like, well, yeah, Porco Rosso's like 1920s era. And so her outfit is just set after that. And I don't know, she might be wearing about a little bit dated of clothing. But yeah, Porco Rosso, if you didn't know, Hayao Miyazaki's movie, animated by Studio Ghibli, is set in the 1920s. It's right after the First World War. And there's so much of just F-fascist. And I was like, I like this movie. I didn't get that at all the first time I watched it. I was a bit confused about that front. And then I watched it again after learning a bit more, and I was just like, I appreciate this so much. There was so much more that made sense rewatching it again. I've only watched that movie twice, so I've watched it the first time and watched it the second time, and I immediately liked it. It's so charming. I really want to get the art book because I love the sea and like Gina's restaurant? Was it a restaurant or did she call it a cafe? I think it was a cafe. But more like a restaurant kind of cafe. Oh. Okay. So little swirly cookies, because like those little roll cookies with the swirl in them, that's what I did for buttons. They're way too big, but hey, I'm exaggerating this. I'm having a bit more fun with this. Yeah, thumbprint in Polish. I don't know how to pronounce that word, but yes, the Polish type of cookies. People also just there's a plenty of people who just apparently refer to them as jam cookies. So I was like, all right then. Things have a lot of names. I mean, there's cougar, panther, mountain lion, and it's all the same critter. It's like it's a panther. It's a mountain lion. It's a cougar. They're all referring to the exact same animal. It's not even like a subspecies. It's for this one particular species. Yeah, things can have a lot of names. Especially when it's a European thing, because then there's the English name, there's the French name, there's the German name, and then there's like some Scandinavian countries in there, and this is the Austria name. I'm like, yeah, it gets lots of names. But yeah, and speaking of jam cookies, the Polish cookies, cookies with jam on them, that's what this is, because the ladies had these big old brooches in front. So I was just like, cookie time. It's not gonna be a big old jam cookie. Oop. So yeah, I don't know this era of clothing as well as the other two eras. Ironically though, I like the designs on them. There's some really elaborate Art Nouveau kind of designs with this beadwork. It's really pretty. I recommend looking it up. I need to change the bumps for there so they fit. I do have to be wrapping up soon. I should save the pattern on the skirt for actual color instead of blocking out with the lines. Thinking on it, that'd probably be the best way. I love this hat. It's so ridiculous. It's just a big sugar cookie on her head. It's like, did somebody ask for a sugar cookie? Okay. Get near the end. And I think it was tucked in, the sash. Whee! It's tucked into this waistline. I'm not really sure what to call it. This wasteland. Okay, you know, I'm going to put this on another layer so I can just draw over the cookie. Leona Theodosia's an Art Nouveau, yeah. I have been thinking about that lately. That has been more, the Art Nouveau's been on my mind more, because I've actually had a little more time to look up into it. Because I don't... No, I'll save that kind of stuff for my 1-year anniversary. I will say that I do want to go I want to have a stream, or maybe it will just be a video, where it's just me saying how I did all this. How did I come to end up all the prep work for me streaming? How did I do that all? What did I do? You know. And I want that to be the 1 year. And I know I'm only like, this is like I'm just getting... Will it be my 4th month? Oh gosh, I am so bad with figuring calendar stuff out. Let's see. My 1st month would be February. March would be... hit 2nd. Yeah, so this is... my 3rd? Okay, I need to look at a calendar to figure that out. That's a later thing. Figuring out spans of time is like, nope, nope. Brain's like, not now, not now. Not doing that now. But I did start, I'm like, I'm not even halfway through the year yet. I'm already making plans for my 1 year. I do want to make plans. That much. Oh geez, but I should have more lore for you guys. That's what I should do too. Okay, it would be 3 months. Okay, so 3rd month. Thank you, Grandma Iris. Your brain works better at this sort of thing than mine does. I'm like, would that be 3 or would it be 4th? I am so confused. I'm very bad at certain things, but hey, I'm good at others. Doing my best. We all have our strengths and weaknesses, and that's why we work best when we work together. Because it's like, just, I can do what you can't do, or you can do what I can't do. And then we're all better off for it. Yep. It's like, wow. I mean, people get so surprised. It's like, wow, we got a bunch of people together to do this thing, and it got done way faster. And it's good, because we got a bunch of skilled people doing the thing, and we're all shocked and amazed that this actually worked out. I'm like, what were you expecting? It was a bunch of people working together, and they're actually, like, working together to do something. And I think it's more shocking if it didn't work out. How much internal bickering would there have to have been, and failure of communication? Though, I mean, that's what happens usually. If something is like big, corporate, country, whatever, usually what gets it to not exist, I guess, to encompass everything, is that it just, failure of communication. It's so simple, but it's just like certain people stop listening. Maybe the communication lines can't handle that many people within, and it just starts failing. As an art history person, I would know this. We have art depicting rises and falls of things, so it's like, I know too. It's maybe art history, but geez, people forget that it's still history. I'm like, I'm still learning things. Do this with one big stroke. Oh yeah, I did. Okay, I need to make this another layer because it's gonna go over the sleeve, and I want to be able to erase it easily without erasing the sleeve. Okay, that didn't quite work. Almost, but no dice. That's close enough. I don't want to do it again. We're almost out of time here too. We're getting into just, and I make a line. Yeah, this is the most simple. which is another interesting to see. Like, the 1890s one, it had the poofy sleeve, elaborate hat. It has all these pieces of clothing to make it up. I'm gonna have to actually... That I'm gonna leave to coloring, because that's not just straight lines, that's gonna be very jagged. I'm like, I'll save that for later in actuality. Well, I say jagged, it's not jagged. Okay, and the little pointy shoes. You finally get to see the shoes point out. I remember getting to this and I was just like, oh my gosh, you can see the shoes! Have you seen any of the progress reports on the reconstruction of Notre Dame? Only one. Honestly, I kind of forgot that Notre Dame got burned. I did hear that they were immediately, like, they got so much funding. And because certain things got burnt down, I know they got the okay to doing things that they've been wanting to do for a while, but people are like, oh, but the historic this, that, or the other thing. Or it's kind of a little risky, and then there's like, if we don't do it, it might get on fire again. And then we might want to do this because we're documenting things too. And yeah, we're not gonna know anything if it goes up in flames and people are like, okay, maybe we should do more documenting, even though, like, there's a possibility of someone messing up and mucking something up, but I'm like, the people are gonna be working. These people know they're working on the Notre Dame. They are going to be the most upset person out of everyone on this planet if they mess it up. I assure you. No one wants to mess up some historically, or not historic, more of, it is historically relevant, but more importantly, it is a cultural icon. I'm like, that is the quickest way to getting a bunch of people just forever mad at you, is mucking one of those up. I'm like, that gets you on people's bad graces real fast, and people genuinely don't want that. They really don't. They rather just get in, do the restoration, nothing gets broken, everything gets fixed, or they, you know, document anything and the object is still fine. I'm like, I assure you, these people don't want anything to go bad even more than you, because they're the ones who are going to have to bear that burden if it does happen. So yeah, be nice to your archaeologists and your restorers. They can have some pretty... They can have a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure if they fail. Yeah, that'll do for now. That's not a really good hand. Like, you say dragon in... Why my mind instantly goes to Dungeons and Dragon, not Dragon, not Lizard? Don't do that tongue thing. Mushu! Okay, I'm gonna have to redo this hand. Oop. No, actually, yeah, I want to even change the angle of the wrist. Yeah, it is nice to see things coming together. I was happy hearing about it. I did hear that because of the work they're doing now, they're just learning so much. They're like, we had no idea that they did this, but since we were cleaning this area, so, because I know they were, you know, they had to clean all the smoke and soot and whatnot damage. And it was already not... Well, I don't want to say, like, it was absolutely filthy before, but I'm like, it was covered in some grime. Why can't I get the angle there? Okay, now I get it. Complain, you will get the thing, do the thing. Actually, might want to zoom out more so I get the hand proportion. That's another thing. I forgot to mess with the sketches to get the proportions better. Okay, I'm just gonna ignore my sketch for the hand because I didn't do the hands very well because I was just like, I am done. But yeah, it is always nice hearing about restorative work. I know, and not everything needs to be preserved. I mean, some items are meant to be worn. They're meant to wear away. They're not meant to be forever. And then you just document it. Okay, I'm really having trouble with the hand. It needs to be bigger. Okay. I'm like, now I made the hand too tiny. Yeah, I need to get wrapping up here. Okay. Let's fix up the line connections. Got one arm left. And the other hand. Okay. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, that's looking good. That's looking good now. Yay! Okay, give it a save. I don't want to do that again. And just do the other sleeve. Which the sleeves were interesting for this, because in the pictures, you know, you have these much looser sleeves. Because the past couple of decades had tight to the arm sleeves. If there was, except for like the mutton sleeve was away. Like it poof away. But the actual sleeve itself was usually pretty tight to the arm. And this is like, as you can see, it's much looser. And it's also not down to the wrist either, now that I'm looking at this. So there's definitely been a lot bigger of a jump in fashion. It's a lot simpler because of wartime, definitely wartime. Resources had to be allocated elsewhere. And so everything just, it got more simplified because resources were harder. And I'm just like, some things couldn't even get access because, you know, battles and war. So yeah, that's another thing you may not think about. It's not just, oh, this is going to a different effort. It's like, you literally cannot get this item because there's a battle in the way of the supply chain. There's all sorts of things that can happen. But it's rather interesting. You have these such elaborate gowns. We began with this very elaborate gown. And then 3 decades later, it's like this. But I'm like, you look at 1990s fashion, 2000 fashion, then 2010s fashion, and it's nowhere near as different. Like, silhouette, if you, like, blacked out the images of the models, or whatever color you want to use, you can use blue or green, it doesn't matter. You just need it to look like a silhouette. And it'll look much less dramatic, I think. Because, like, oh yeah, this is still wearing pants, and the line's a little different, and it just... These few decades feels a lot more, like, especially 1900s, 1910s. I mean, you get the bottom headline change, because you can actually see the shoes. There's no trains, because there's no bustles. You don't have the lingering bustle from the 1900s. You are seeing more of the hands. There's not... The sleeves don't go all the way down. You still got the big hats, but they're flatter. So, like, even the hats look different because they're flatter. And, like, the corset kind of tree is gone. Like, the upper top shape. It's much more column, too. I mean... Here, let me get out. I managed to do all of them. I'm honestly surprised. Okay, that's my ice cream. I'm gonna have to probably change the lines a bit too, so... Woo. Okay, never mind. So we got 1895 thereabouts. And you've got the bustle. There's a lot of fabric. You've got this huge hat, you know, big brim. They've got this up kind of bald thing. They've got decorations on it. You got the big old mutton sleeves, which is just a lot of fabric. You literally have pillows on your arms to get these big old mutton sleeves. You got a pillow on your booty to get the bustle, which I just realized I totally forgot to draw the line here. Whoops. Yeah, that's separated. And you just got layers of skirts. You got layers and layers on top. You got, like, false panels. you got all this, you got your clutches, the donuts there, that's just pure. They did not like have big pillows off of them, but they did have drapery off the there on the fancier dresses. Then we get to 1900s, and it's, you know, this has a train. It's much more poofed out. This is thinner. I did poof it out a little bit more, and it has the decoration, but that's much more tamed. I mean, I didn't literally put big donut pillows on it, but even here is more tamed. It's not as flared out. You don't have the train. You may not even need a bustle because you may just need petticoats. And then you have the neckline go all the way down. Got this little cape, poofy sleeves. And it's just like, you don't have the mutton. You don't have that. You still have the elaborate hats though. And I put in the umbrella for fun, but not everyone had umbrellas. That wasn't like a requirement for your clothing. And then we get to this, and it's colonnade. There's way less decorations. The hats are flatter. I mean, I put the wafers in this, and the sprinkles on top, but they really just had flat hats. It was very undecorated. You have this big brooch. You had big, larger buttons, and like, the hemline is gone up. Like, there's less fabric involved. There's not, you know, there's no bustle padding on the booty. There's probably less petticoats, if any petticoats at all. It might just have a skirt, and I think this line here is actually like, this is a whole big top. Possibly. I'm not sure. Again, I'm not super familiar, but like, I wouldn't be surprised if there's less layers, and like, just the foundational garments would probably be completely different. There's just less, and it's just so fascinating how much you can learn, just how much history you can learn just by explaining the clothes we've worn. And I find that just completely fascinating. So that's why I was really excited, because it's just so cool to see. Fish! I missed you, Fishy. How you doing, Fishy? Whee! Fishy's doing good. Alright. So, yeah, I really, really like clothing history, because there's just so much history involved. You can get political with like royal and just like, grab this. You can just, who did the people who run your government wear? What does that say? You can get whole things of imperialism and colonialism, because it's like, yeah, they got this fabric and access to these embellishments because this is an imperial, you know, this is an empire, and it colonized these people. And then it's just like, there's new technology like dyeing, and you may not know this, but the Victorians and Edwardians were able to make such elaborate dresses because they had sewing machines. Like, not powered ones like we have now, but they had treadle sewing machines. So you pump it with your foot. Well, usually that's how it worked. I think there's ones that were like cranked, but those were less common. People were like, no, I want my hands free. I'm sewing. I want my hands free. I'd rather use my foot. And there's just so much history, and I love it. It just connects you with so many things. And then people are like, it's just clothes. I'm like, you would think. There's so much history that goes into explaining why this article of clothing exists. And it's fantastic, and I love it. History is fun. This is why I like art history. Not to mention, the sass from artists is fantastic as well. Oh my gosh, artists get so sassy. Like you wouldn't believe. And the like drawings too, you can stick so much symbolism. It's like smacks an old painting. You can stick so much symbolism in this bad boy. It's very silly. Anyway, I'm very big on, yeah, there's a lot visual art media can teach you, and you may be surprised. There's a lot of art history. We have art history. It's a thing, and I love it. But thank you for all for coming. I'm very happy. I got to share my little bits of fashion history knowledge. I hope it was fun. I hope you're enjoying the new look too. I will be wearing this for my Breath of the Wild streams. I'm wearing it all this week. I don't know about next week. I haven't made my plans what I'm doing next week, but I'm going to be wearing this from now on from doing Breath of the Wild, just because I think it's fun. I think this is more fun to do with Breath of the Wild. And yeah, that would be wrapping up the stream. So thank you all so much for coming. Don't forget to leave a like, hit subscribe if you want to. I really appreciate it. I love interacting with y'all. And I will be seeing you. So, hey Fishy, you wanna say bye-bye with me? Bye-bye!